in the Q&A at the end. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the online lectures for meaningful tourism as a sustainable development tool for tourism in Africa. My name is Professor Dr. Wolfgang Georg Alt. I'm the founder and executive director of the Meaningful Tourism Center, based in London and in Kathmandu, Nepal. Let me start by giving a brief introduction on what we have planned to do in this online lecture series for you. Let me start the presentation, just a second. What will we do in this online lecture series for African countries will be the following. So in the first week of December, we have 5 lectures about 5 African countries, starting with South Africa, and then Kenya, Tanzania, Cameroon, and Zimbabwe. Actually, the next year, there will be more African countries also following up. And then on December 9, 16, and 23, we will have once a week another lecture where we will look for the African continent more specifically on what is the meaningful tourism approach, what are the tools, what are the key performance indicators, and in the next week we will talk about how to apply this practically in tourism, what are specifics about soft markets, and also we will have a special topic, carbon credits trading for Africa, which in the first lecture today we will have only briefly. And finally, we will look in the last lecture at the step-by-step implementation of ecotourism for African destinations, companies, and organizations. And of course, we will have a conclusion and outlook. So in the first lecture today, I have the pleasure and the honor to start in a minute with an introduction about what is meaningful tourism. And then we have our certified trainer from the Meaningful Tourism Center for each of the countries, talking about how can meaningful tourism help to develop sustainable tourism in my country. So that will be South Africa, Kenya, and so on. And then we have a local expert joining us, talking about the current situation and activities for sustainable tourism and for capacity building already existing in this country, and some special aspects depending on the expertise of the local expert. And then we have Mr. Vinod Vasudevan from AOI Company, and he will give a good example of how you earn money from sustainable behavior by using carbon credit trading. I also find this an important topic. And at the end, very important also, we have a live question and answer session. So if you have any questions coming up to your mind in the next 45 minutes or so, please bear them in mind, or you can also use the chat function, of course. And at the end, there will be a Q&A where we will try to answer your questions as they are arising. Thank you already very much for participating in that part. And also, just to mention that everybody who has registered to participate in this online lecture series is invited for free. So this is sponsored by us, the Meaningful Tourism Center, and by the Tourism Institute. And so there's no payment necessary. However, if you want to have a participation certificate signed by the leaders of the Meaningful Tourism Center and Tourism Institute, this is available, but for that we will have to ask you a payment of $30 that will be done after the lecture series. And also, we have a special bonus for you. Everybody participating in the Meaningful Tourism Online Lectures Africa will receive automatically free access to the Meaningful Tourism Weekly, our publication every weekly every week telling you about meaningful tourism development. If for some reason you don't want to receive this anymore every week, you can tell us and it will be canceled. Very briefly talking about who's talking to you. So my name is Professor Dr. Wolfgang Georg Alt, and I've been working in tourism since many years, since the 1980s. And as you can see in this list, I have been working a lot with the Chinese market, but also I've been working for more than 15 years now in different African countries, talking about sustainable growth development and about different source markets. And so for us here, very important is that in 2021, during the pandemic, I started the Meaningful Tourism Center to support the concept of meaningful tourism development. That is what we will talk about in our lectures here. And also, at the moment, if you want to know, I am based in Kathmandu, in Nepal. So I moved here last year, and Meaningful Tourism Center came obviously with me. Other than that, well, you can see that I've been working a lot internationally and having a lot of hats, including a fellowship of the Royal Geographic Society and the Royal Asiatic Society, and also membership in a couple of international tourism organizations. So that is what I wanted to tell you for the moment. And now let's enjoy the online lectures, and let's not forget Europe is the past, Asia is the present, Africa is the future. Thank you, and let's start the presentations. Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Meaningful Tourism as a tool for development, sustainable tourism for Africa. And let me start by talking about what is meaningful tourism. So meaningful tourism is a paradigm which defines basically the 6 main stakeholders in tourism and hospitality, and saying that all 6 need to receive objective benefits and subjective satisfaction. So jobs, income, regional development, but also happiness about encounters with visitors. And so that this is necessary to support the sustainable development of destinations, companies, and organizations, to mitigate and adapt to climate change, and to provide good travel experiences to the travelers as one of the 6 stakeholders, but not only for them. So let's have a look where we are now. So international tourism obviously is at a crossroad. So we see that climate change is destroying many business models which were successful in the past. We see AI is changing tourism in more ways than even the internet did in the past. And also we see that customers' demand is changing from sightseeing and recreation to transformative experiences and special interest. So what are the results? The results are that we see that more and more people are asking for quality and not just quantity. Mass market package stores are out and individual travel is in. Tour operators are starting to be replaced by AI-powered personal assistant apps. So the traditional distribution channels are disappearing, which means there are many chances for African destinations and companies to avoid the mistakes which have been done by others before and adopt to the current and future development right away. And obviously, the result is that there's a need for a holistic approach to tourism, tackling not just one problem, but looking at the whole picture. So we can see we had 50 years up to the pandemic of growth in tourism. So based in many ways also on the development of affordable air transport and making it affordable for more people, even the middle classes, to fly long distance. And that was based on the idea that tourism is about recreation, resting, and sightseeing, and was mostly organized in package tours. And for Africa, that was after independence one of the easiest and ways to start earning some hard currency by making use of the nature in the form of safaris or beaches to attract international visitors. So we had a year of growth, and where if you look at this graph, which you probably have been seen before, so Africa, the blue one on top, came out of almost nothing in the 1980s to having a share, even so still a small one, but a growing one. And totally, we see that we reached almost 1.5 billion trips before the pandemic. And at one result, you can see the right-hand side, it's a picture of Barcelona. So the main pedestrian area was completely taken over by tourism. So where did this end? Well, it ended with the pandemic, but before already we saw that there were big debates about over-tourism, local people getting fed up with tourism development, and also in political discussions that you have to be ashamed to use an aircraft because you are contributing to global warming, you're contributing to pollution. And so we saw during the pandemic a lot of discussions and debates going on, and everybody was agreeing that using just arrival numbers, just how many people are coming as a key performance indicator is not working, that you have to have a more differentiated approach. And also we saw that as one of the results of the pandemic, the demands are changing. So people are less interested in recreation and shopping and sightseeing. They want more involvement and experience, and they want actually transformation instead of just memory creation. So they want to get something out of the trip which will make them a fuller personality, having a better and more complex idea of what is the world and what who are they themselves. So this is called the transformation economy. You may remember there was a very famous book of Pine and Gilmore about the experience economy, and this has now been updated by the author Pine, talking now about the transformation economy. This is where we are moving to. So why do we need meaningful tourism? So the climate breakdown will dominate the development in the coming decades. So there's no doubt about this. And so many once successful business models will be destroyed. We see all the new technology coming, which provide a lot of new opportunities, but also many challenges. And as we just said, so the demand is developing from relaxation, sightseeing, and experiences to customized transformational experiences. And of course, Africa is very well posed to provide this kind of experiences, especially for non-African visitors. So in a nutshell, meaningful tourism is not a nice to have idea, but it's a set of practical tools which are necessary for the survival and the future development of destinations, organizations, and companies in this changing surroundings. So, and the key point is that, so this is a holistic approach. So it's based on the idea that all stakeholders need to have benefits and satisfaction. And so who are the six main stakeholders? Obviously the travelers, the host communities, the tourism employees, often forgotten in discussions about sustainable or responsible or recreational tourism. Then also the service providing companies, they have to earn money for future investment, the governments on different levels, and the local and global environment. So this holistic approach, looking at all the stakeholders' interest, is made into a practical tool by using KPIs. So what you cannot measure, you cannot manage, is an old saying. So these are smart KPIs, which means that they are not talking about what will happen in 50 years or so, but something which you can measure and annually or even more often and see, are you developing in the right direction. And also meaning control is not just looking at the time when people are traveling. So we have something called meaningful travel, which is concentrating on the experiences of the travelers, because actually tourism is a whole production chain. So from financing, from hotel construction to waste management. So in all these steps, we need to have a clear point of what are the interests of all stakeholders. So it is a step inside sustainable tourism development, and is based on principles of positive typology and on the Schumpeter approach of creative destruction. Actually, this idea just won a Nobel Prize in economy. So some modern ideas using Schumpeter as a base so that you actively embrace change and not just reluctantly follow it. So meaningful tourism offers a tool to analyze the situation, to mitigate contradictions and align interests, develop a strategy, and then to monitor the progress with smart KPIs. You can also compare this with other destinations, other companies. We are producing a meaningful tourism index for that. And of course, it can be and should be integrated into capacity building and education, both academic and vocational. And it can also help the discourse and discussion about, is tourism beneficial for our country, for our destination, for our society. So this is a rather new idea that has been developed by me since 5 years. And in 2021, we established the Meaningful Tourism Center. And 2022, we started the Meaningful Tourism Award, which, by the way, is also happening again this year. So please nominate everybody who you think, or every organization and company you think should get a Meaningful Tourism Award until the end of December. Some books and articles have been published about the idea, and in April this year, PATA, the Pacific Asia Tourism Association, approved this concept as their official mission statement. And so we have been this year having organizing a lot of conferences and forums and fairs all connected to the tourism. The key element of our work is that we have about 50 trainers in different countries, and you can see there are also many African countries, and each of our online lectures is based on the work of one of our local trainers in Africa. So they are there on the ground and with the local knowledge to help to have this kind of development. And as I said, PATA has said for the Asia Pacific region, this is the official vision to develop a meaningful Pacific Asia tourism economy. Hopefully, we can reach the same for Africa as well. So meaningful tourism means not looking for compromises, and I think this is a big mistake in a lot of discussions, but you need to align interests. Compromises are, nobody is ever satisfied, and also a balancing act, and balances, can crash easily. So what we need is to align interest of the stakeholders. And this you can use, or you can achieve by active embracement of change. So we mentioned Schumpeter before. And of course, Africa can have the advantage that you have less rigid structures compared to other destinations. So it might be easier to embrace new ideas. Because Africa is, of course, also the youngest of all continents, so you have so many bright young people who are willing to do something innovative and something new. This is a good opportunity I've been working a lot with China, and I could see how this has helped. And a few decades ago, the development in China was still a young society. And also it means, of course, the integration of the interests of the local host population. So we saw all this overturned protest that they feel that they are suffering, that their nature and culture is destroyed for short-term profit. There have been in Africa a lot of debates also recently about such activities stopping the movement of animals and many other problems. And of course, meaningful tourism also means the provision of better training and better working conditions for the employees in tourism and hospitality. So because we need to attract motivated, high quality staff offering good service, that is the key point. And this is something where we see that after the pandemic in many countries, there's a lack of staff now because the working conditions in tourism have not been ideal in many places in the past. So we need obviously restrictions and control of the ecological impact of increased tourism, but also we need not just regulations, we need to educate the locals and the visitors about the local ecosystems and how to protect them. If the visitors feel not just as somebody bringing some dollars, but somebody who is welcomed, then they have also more interest in protecting the area where they are visiting. So we can align the interests of economic development and environmental protection, and they are actually not opposites, because in the long term, we are using natural and cultural resources to generate jobs and income, and so to keep them alive, not killing what we are selling, is in the interest of both economic development and profit and environmental protection. So that means we can use a strategy based on the meaningful tourism principles of providing benefits and satisfaction to all stakeholders to avoid a development in Africa of short-term profit and long-term destruction, as we have seen, unfortunately, in many other places in the world happening. So this is an overview of what is meaningful tourism, and we will talk more about what does it mean specifically for different destinations in the rest of the lectures. Just briefly say, so who is the Meaningful Tourism Center? Well, it's a non-profit organization based in London with headquarters in Kathmandu, and I'm proud to say partners and trainers around the world, including many countries in Africa. So we provide research, training, consulting services for companies, organizations, and institutions globally, and of course also in Africa. And myself, I'm having called now one for Prof. M for Meaningful, and I've been working in tourism for almost 15 years as a consultant, a trainer, a publisher, event organizer, and also as a university professor. And so we offer together with our local trainers a full range of services for destinations, companies, and organizations. The entry level is that based on a self-assessment for individual companies, which is very easy to do based on smart KPIs we provide, so that these companies or organizations or destinations can become recognized as part of their meaningful tourism movement. We have as a key element meaningful tourism transformative game workshops and source market workshops, which are full day offline workshops. So this is where the local trainers are providing the services on the spot and if necessary also in local language. And this is based on role play, so it's a very innovative and productive way of seeing how can specifically for a specific company or destination developments pushed forward. And there's, of course, implementation support. So from just developing customized KPIs to just the workshops to a full implementation support package, all customized specifically for the situation in Africa, all offered for you. So please feel free to contact the local trainers or us at the Mutual Center, and we will be very happy to make this also something which is happening in your place and for your company. So as we said at the beginning, Europe is the past, Asia is the present, Africa is the future, and let me add, meaningful tourism is a tool for sustainable and profitable success. With that, thank you very much for your attention, and we will move forward in our online lecture. If you have any interest in contacting us, so please feel free to contact us, either our local trainers or the center on WhatsApp or email. We have just updated our website, and we have the link to the weekly newsletter you will all receive because you have participated in this online workshop. Thank you so much, and now let's move forward with the program.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Boma from Zanzibar, Tanzania. I'm a director of Safari Gateway Limited, a chairperson of Zanzibar Chamber of Commerce, and also a board member of Zanzibar National Chamber of Commerce in Tourism Cluster. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone today here. We are going to explore the relevance of meaningful tourism for Tanzania and Zanzibar. As a certified meaningful tourism trainer, my goal is to show how this approach can help us grow this sector fairly, sustainably, and profitably. Tourism is already playing a major role here. Now we must make it more impactful. In Tanzania and Zanzibar, tourism contributes up to 24% of national GDP and 19% of Zanzibar GDP. It supports 1,000 jobs, especially for women and youth. But despite the growth, many people still do not benefit fully. Today we are going to look how meaningful tourism can help us to share the benefits more fairly, protect nature, and improve visitor experience. By the end, you will understand the meaningful tourism model. Identify practical tools you can use immediately, spot opportunity in your current operation, and commit to a simple action plan you can implement within 30 days. We have strong tourism foundation here in Tanzania and Zanzibar, like a wildlife, beach, Mount Kilimanjaro, culture, and a growing blue economy. However, to remain competitive globally, we need to shift from our mindset, from attracting more visitors to offering more meaningful, high-quality experience that benefits everyone. Despite our strengths, we have serious challenge, dependence on a few markets, pressure on marine ecosystem, skill gap, revenue leakage to external operator, weak coastal zoning, and limited community involvement. This issue shows us clearly that growth alone is not enough. We need a better model. The good news is we have excellent opportunity, expanding domestic tourism, strengthening community-based tourism, investing on blue economy, building halal and cultural tourism, empowering women and youth, and using digital tools. Meaningful tourism brings all these opportunities together into a strategic approach. Meaningful tourism model that ensures 6 stakeholder groups benefit, like guest, host community, employee, entrepreneur, government, and natural environment. It focuses on a value over volume, ensuring each group experience real improvement and satisfaction, not just economic gain. A traditional sustainability often focuses on a symbolic action like removing of plastic or planting a tree, certification. These are good, but not enough. Meaningful tourism emphasizes measurable impact, fairness, and authentic experience. It helps us move from surface level activity to deep long-term benefits. Here are simple 3 minutes tools you can use anytime. Score your activity based on community benefits, environment, visitor experience, employee well-being, and economic fairness. Even one area with a low score is opportunity for economic fairness. This tool improve you, transform you, your service step by step. A meaningful business measure more than income. Track indicator like a percent of local staff, spending, local supplier, visitor learning outcome, water and waste reduction, and community partnership. This KPI help you understand your real value contribution and communicate it to traveler and partner. Meaningful tourism gives a business tool to upgrade quality, training staff, improving compliance, enhancing guest experience design, align with environmental standard, and even accessing new opportunity like a carbon credit trading. With this upgrade, your business becomes stronger, more competitive. Zanzibar is already playing meaningful tourism principle. Our blue economy version, marine zoning, dolphin protection, women cooperative, and seaweed and spice farm, youth empowerment, and improved domestic flight connectivity all show how tourism can grow while protecting culture, nature, and community life. Pick one tourism activity you offer, such as a tour, craft workshop, or guest experience. Ask who is benefits and who doesn't benefit yet. What does one simple change can make it more meaningful? For example, include a local artisan, adding cultural storytelling, or adjusting profit sharing. This is how transformation begins. Tourism is entering in a new era. Travelers want authentic, fairness, and a responsible choice. Community want inclusion. Global competition is shifting toward equality and purpose. This is the perfect moment for Tanzania and Zanzibar lead with meaningful tourism identity. Going forward, business and community should adopt meaningful tourism tools, build SME capacity, use digital system, co-create experience with local group, empower women and youth, and align with government direction. Together, we can position our destination as meaningful tourism leader in Africa. Before we end, think of one meaningful change you can implement in the next 30 days. It can be a small practical, improving training, sourcing locally, adding a community element, or measuring impacts. Commit to it, share it with your team, and start the transformation. Let us join hands to protect our lands, empower people, and offer extraordinary experience. Meaningful tourism is not a theory. It's a future of sustainable tourism in Tanzania and Zanzibar. Thank you for participating. I look forward to support you in the meaningful tourism journey. Thank
you. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Aisha Hussein Musa, Vice Chair of the Zanzibar Association of Tour Operators, ZATO. Today, I'll speak about how meaningful tourism can empower local tour operators and drive sustainable tourism development in Tanzania and Zanzibar at large. Introduction. Tourism is one of the biggest economic pillars for both Tanzania and Zanzibar. Globally, tourism is moving away from mass tourism toward sustainability and now toward meaningful tourism. Local tour operators are at the center of this transition. They shape the local visitor experience, preserve culture, and distribute economic benefits. My focus today is how meaningful tourism supports local operators and strengthens sustainable development. What is meaningful tourism? Based on Professor Wolfgang Art's framework, meaningful tourism creates positive value for 7 groups: tourists, communities, employees, companies, government, in both the natural and cultural environments. It's about tourism with purpose, where everyone benefits and where responsibility and respect guide our actions. Why it matters. For Tanzania and Zanzibar, tourism is a major source of income and jobs. Travelers today want authentic, responsible, community-based experiences. To meet these expectations, we must protect local content and avoid external dominance. Meaningful tourism also aligns fully with our national tourism strategies, making it a strong pathway for future growth. The role of local tour operators. Local operators are the ambassadors of our destinations. We create authentic cultural and nature-based experiences, support local employment, protect heritage, and innovate with products like community tourism, halal tourism, and ecotourism. We are key to ensuring tourism benefits the people of Zanzibar and Tanzania at large. Challenges facing local operators. Despite our importance, local operators face heavy competition from foreign and all proxy companies. We struggle with limited digital visibility, dependence on large OTAs, pricing pressure, and weaker market access. We also need stronger connections with communities and more skills in digital marketing and sustainable practices. Meaningful tourism as a solution. Meaningful tourism directly addresses these challenges. It encourages local sourcing, community involvement, and fair benefits. It builds staff skills, promotes environmental responsibility, and strengthens partnerships. By focusing on quality and culture, not only price, it gives local operators a competitive advantage. Focus area, strengthening local content. Meaningful tourism supports the use of local guides, drivers, and suppliers. It prioritizes local-owned hotels and craft producers. By complying with local content laws and ensuring fair business relationships, more revenue stays in our economy and supports local livelihoods. Focus area, community-based benefits. Tour operators can uplift the community through village tours, homestays, and cultural experiences. We can support local schools and health initiatives, apply fair revenue sharing, and train youth as our guides. When communities benefit, they become active protectors of tourism and the culture. Focus area, environmental stewardship. Meaningful tourism emphasizes waste reduction, conservation partnerships, and the use of cleaner transport options. It encourages visitors to respect nature. This ensures our beaches, forests, and wildlife remain healthy for the future generations to come. Focus area, cultural preservation. Tourism should support, not dilute the culture. Meaningful tourism promotes authentic cultural experiences, Swahili traditions, and respect for religious values, including halal tourism. It safeguards heritage sites and prevents cultural exploitations. Focus area, workforce skills. Well-trained staff are essentials for high-quality tourism. Training in hospitality, safety, environmental responsibility, and digital skills improve service and strengthens our industry's reputation. Focus area, digital transformations. Digital tools allow local operators to reach global markets without relying heavily on big OTAs. Social media storytelling, local booking platforms, and online training help businesses compete fairly and sustainably. Zato's contribution. Zato plays a leadership role in promoting local content reinforcement, sustainable training, and responsible business standards. We facilitate partnerships with communities and governments while supporting digital capacity building for our members. Case examples. Zanzibar already has strong examples of meaningful tourism. Spice farm tours, Stone Town cultural immersions, Nuzani conservation experiences, women cooperatives, homestays, and halal tourism. These successes shows the potential of scaling meaningful tourism across the islands. Opportunities for growth. We have major opportunities in authentic experiences, eco and regenerative tourism, halal tourism, youth employment, and regional collaboration. The diaspora also offers strong potential for cultural and investment promotion. Policy recommendation. To advance meaningful tourism, we must strengthen local content laws, support community enterprises, offer financing for sustainable and digital upgrades, and enhance government collaborations. This will position Tanzania and Zanzibar as leaders in meaningful tourism in Africa. The pathway forward. Meaningful tourism provides a clear pathway to inclusive growth, empowering communities, protecting the environment, and strengthening local businesses. Local operators must remain at the center of this transformation. Conclusion. Meaningful tourism brings together sustainability, local content, and community benefits. By embracing this model, we can build a resilient, cultural, authentic, and global competitive tourism industry that benefits our people and our environment. Thank you. Asante kwa kunisikiliza. I look forward for the questions and discussion.
In a world where every sector must do its part, the hospitality industry stands at a unique crossroads, hosting millions while shaping a sustainable future. Step 1. Smart billing and digital records. Automated systems now track energy and water usage, carbon footprint per guest, and even the impact of room service. This transparency helps hotels benchmark, reduce, and communicate emissions. Water is precious. Through sensor-based taps, water recycling units, and rainwater harvesting, hotels cut consumption while ensuring luxury remains untouched. Energy efficiency is no longer optional. With solar power, smart thermostats, LED lighting, and HVAC optimization, IoT sensors for lighting and heating or cooling control, energy use is reduced by up to 40%, directly lowering emissions. Did you know hotels waste up to 150 kilograms of food daily? Through AI-based kitchen audits and composting, food waste becomes biocompost for gardens, or even biochar for carbon sequestration. Garden waste, too, is reimagined. Instead of being trashed, it's turned into fertilizer or clean-burning biomass. Guests play a key role. Simple choices, reusing linens, choosing local meals, or opting for green room services, staff uniforms, can cut their carbon footprint by up to 30%. The use of recycled material from bamboo waste into linen needs to be highlighted here, allowing for community-based entrepreneurs to develop and flourish. Transformation starts within. Trained staff drive the sustainability vision, reducing waste, spotting inefficiencies, and delivering a greener guest experience. Each action contributes to the UN Sustainable Development Goals: clean water, SDG 6, affordable and clean energy, SDG 7, responsible consumption, SDG 12, climate action, SDG 13. Guests can use our Carbon Calculator app to calculate their carbon footprint via air or road and during the stay, and contribute to a community development project that helps women empowerment, poverty alleviation, and making our planet a safer, greener place. The path to zero emissions isn't about compromise. It's about innovation, awareness, and commitment for the planet, for people, and for the future of hospitality. Businesses want to go green, but most don't know where to start. And the ones who try? They get lost in complex ESG frameworks and greenwashing risks. At AIROI, we turn climate goals into measurable impact, using AI to track emissions, generate real carbon biochar and plastic credits, and support nature-based solutions. From Peru to Nigeria, we help land stewards and recyclers monetize impact, turning sustainability into a business advantage. AIROI, where AI meets ESG. Let's build a regenerative future together.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for looking at the different videos, and thank you, of course, to Bjorkva and Aisha for contributing their ideas. So we are live now, and so So we started a bit late. Sorry for that again. But still, as promised, we will spend some time offering you the opportunity to give comments or ask questions, and we are trying, and Aisha and we will try the best to answer them. So please, if you have any uh, question, any comments, any observation you want to share, unmute yourself and please share with us. So, anybody happy? Okay, so then maybe let well, if nobody is wants to ask at the moment. Oh, then okay. There's two people. There's Ali Amour and Fashal Abdallah. So maybe we start with Ali. Ali, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Professor, for the good presentation. I see echoes from my end. Can people maybe mute their microphone? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, it has nothing to do with the other people. It's your microphone.
Okay, sorry. Thank you very much, Professor, for bringing up this meaningful tourism and for your good presentation. I have a question for you. You mentioned that meaningful tourism align the benefits and satisfaction by measuring them on KPI. Could you clarify which specific KPI are most effective ensuring that the stakeholders, especially local communities, local tour operators, can benefit from this meaningful tourism? I specifically would like to know how the meaningful tourism approach practically balance commercial interest with the community well-being across the entire value chain of the meaningful tourism. Thank you.
So Ali Amor, but thank you so much. This is the question goes right to the core of what we are talking about. So that is indeed the key thing. So that we see in the discussion a lot of people saying, well, there is a balance needed, or that there's a contradiction between profit and saving the environment, or things like that. And clearly, what we can see, of course, is that in tourism, and especially in Africa, we are through a big part we are selling local culture, local nature, so things which are rooted in the place, and which if they are destroyed by tourism, then tourism has nothing to sell anymore. So there is an alignment in the long term for this keeping the products intact, and so that we have something we can sell. So the KPIs we have to use. So we use the term smart KPIs so that they are measurable, and they're also in time. So we're not talking about what we want to achieve in 2050 or something like some politicians do when we are all not here anymore, but KPIs which are measuring for each of the 6 stakeholders. That is a key point. So there are objective benefits. So what are we getting out in terms of jobs, of money, of income, of using the environment in a as safe as possible way, as careful as possible way, and so this for each of the 6 stakeholders, and then of course there are some general KPIs you can use for instance, for the host community. How happy are they with having tourists coming to their region? How proud are they, or how much annoyed are they? So this will be basically one example for almost everywhere. But then, of course, you have differences if you are using KPIs for a rural area in Tanzania, or if you use it for uh, a big city. And so therefore, this is a part of the work. So we offer one-day workshops where we start to get the understanding and get people to know what are the tools. But then, of course, there will have to be a set of KPIs which is customized for each situation. This is also why we are working with so many local trainers all over the world, because this is something you have to do on the ground. So there is not one magic wand, and there's not one set which fits everybody. But clearly, they have to be realistic, they have to be measurable, and they have to make sure that the people and all stakeholders see what is the what are they getting out of what we are doing in tourism. And so that is in many cases, and that's why we say benefits, objective benefits, and also subjective satisfaction. You see many tourism places where maybe the local population has some advantage or job creation and so on from tourism, but still they're not happy about that. So because they don't understand, there's no transparency, how much are they getting out of tourism? And of course, depends on what kind of tourism you have. I mean, this is also what Biopra and Aisha have been talking about, that it's also what kind of products are you offering, so that it is something where the local community actually is benefiting from. And so one of the 6 stakeholders we talk about are the employees working in the companies, which is often forgotten when we talk about sustainable tourism development. So it's also the point, how do we organize tourism that it is year-round tourism, which offers year-round jobs, where people don't have only seasonal jobs, but they have jobs the whole year, and then they can have a career path, and they can see how they can move up over time in the industry. So these are, for instance, KPIs when we talk about employees. So what is the retention rate? How long do people stay in the industry? How much are they, is accessible for them? We have trainings, we have a career path, so that they can see why they should stay in the industry. So that is something we have to do. Of course, as a tour operator, you have only limited opportunities to influence what is happening in a destination. But that's why, well, I said at the beginning, I think there's no progress without cooperation. That's why we have in many places already this kind of cooperation groups where different forms, where people are coming together, and where you have different can align interests. But this is exactly something which has to be done. What are the KPIs? And if you say, okay, we want to improve something by 5% in 1 year, so we want to improve it. Is 5% realistic, or 10% or 50%? So that is something which we have to do on the ground for the real situation. And our trainers in Tanzania and some advisors in Ethiopia are there to help in that progress, in that process of developing that. So it is one of the reasons why we are not doing certification. So meaningful tourism is not giving certificates because that is very often a set of criteria which are uniform and which are fitting for some situations, but not fitting for other situations. And that's why we have been saying, so we use KPIs and then measure what is the result. So after 6 months or 1 year, is the intended result has been achieved or not. So that is, I think, a key point where it becomes practical and where it becomes also transparent so that everybody can see, okay, what is the effect of tourism, and if it's not beneficial, it's not satisfying, then well, how can we change that? So I hope this is a short answer. So of course this is it's a big topic, and as I said, in the next 3 weeks we have 3 more lectures where there will also be KPIs will be in the I think in the next week lecture will be discussed in more detail. So as we are a bit short in time, so maybe I have to jump to the next question, which was from Pashal, I think. Pashal, can you go ahead? Please, unmute yourself.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. My name is Pascal. I'm operation agent in Fisherman Tours. And I would like to ask a question. My question goes straight to Yuhua. And the question is follow. In our industry, many entrepreneurs still focus primarily on maximizing profit and increasing volumes because traditionally that is what brings higher income. But the meaningful tourism framework emphasizes value and volume, and it measures success using impact based on KPIs rather than income based on KPIs. And my question is, do you believe this approach will readily accepted by the stakeholders, especially when others within the same destination may continue operating with a different mindset focused purely on profit and numbers? How do you align this different approach so that meaningful tourism can truly take root?
Thank you. Yeah, maybe let me explain later. Meaningful tourism does not reduce the profits. It strengthens it. Most of travelers today, they value the authenticity and responsible tourism. That's why you see people that they need to travel better, because they need the quality of of traveling to experience the place they are going. When we focus on the impact, we can say every time maybe the tourist had increases, but we don't need that increase in the tourist, only the volume. We need the quality of the tourists that we are receiving here. The business is actually gain a high guest satisfaction. Some they stay longer. We have strong reputation, and also we don't have a repeat visitation. That's what we are looking for, meaningful tourism. If the customers that are satisfied, we will have a lot of repeat visitor here in Zanzibar. Not everyone will accept this approach, but normally global trends now are shifting faster. Most of the business that adapt this meaningful tourism in early, maybe not some. Now we are just adapting us. Maybe we are just educate from this, but there are people who started earlier to use meaningful tourism. So they become more competitive, while those they focus only on volume will face high risk and lower long-term return. So this is not about choosing between profit and value. It's about choosing a smart way, more sustainable and more benefits. All stakeholders are ensure long-term success for the destination. I think this is also a way for our government. They're looking for the high-end customer, not only to have more tourists here in Zanzibar, but we don't benefit at all. And the community doesn't benefit at all. I think maybe I answer your question.
So maybe yeah, thank you very much. Maybe I can just add to this. Of course, you already mentioned the key points. Just add two things. One is if you have new products, you can get people doing things you can only do in Zimbabwe, in Tanzania or in Zanzibar. So if you offer a beach holiday, you are competing with all the beaches in the world. If you're offering in Tanzania the safari, you're competing with so many other people offering safaris. So if you say, okay, we have a special way of cooking, of dancing, of making music, whatever, in our area, then you have to go there if you want to experience that. And as you have been saying, more and more people are looking for such transformational experiences. So then, so one thing is that is so you can get the business spread more evenly and reaching directly the people. Because the second point is not only how much money tourists are spending. The question is in whose pockets this money is ending. And if you have an international hotel group running a beach resort, maybe all-inclusive place, then most of the money goes out of the country and goes to the investors and is not staying within the community. And if people go there and they drink Budweiser beer and they eat imported food, so the local agriculture is not and the local food and beverage production is not having anything out of that. So therefore it's exactly as you were saying. The point is we have traditionally the KPI everybody is using is arrival numbers, how many people are coming. But the point is exactly how many of them are satisfied and tell their friends they should also go there and or coming back themselves again. So how many repeat visitors do you have? How many ambassadors, brand ambassadors you are producing? And also that if people are staying longer because they're interested in what they're seeing, who they're meeting, then they also will spend more money. And you will not have to compete so much on price because you're offering something nobody else is offering. So that is therefore we can see in many destinations that this going after more and more people, that this of course has a lot of environmental problems as a result, but also it is a race to the bottom because then you're competing with other people and you go cheaper, and then the quality goes down, down, down. And so you can see places where look at Bali or such places which were very successful and now they're so people say, oh, you can't go to there anymore. It's already destroyed and there are too many cheap tourists. So that is a way, and this is, I think, for me, a big hope that I can help a little bit to avoid, so that Africa can avoid all these mistakes which have been doing, many other destinations have been doing because they have been only concentrating on arrival numbers and more and more. And this is, as you've been saying, that's also something where we hopefully can influence and develop strategies with regional and national governments to see that there is a new way towards quality instead of quantity, with of course with the intention to create more jobs, to create more income. So this is not something where we say, oh, we don't like profit or something like that. So we are not that kind of people with romantic ideas. It's tourism is a business and it's to get as many people give them the opportunity to have a job and to have an income and have a decent life, but also to be proud of their culture, to be proud to have other people coming to your place and saying, oh, how wonderful is what you have, which also in many places can help, for instance, to keep young people in the villages, not having them running away to the big city or even out of the country. So I'm based here in Nepal, and so the biggest problem here is that all the young people are leaving the villages and are going to Kathmandu or even going to work in Dubai or some other place, and you have a bigger lot of brain drain. So that is something where tourism can offer also reason to why you stay in your region and why you're proud to be who you are. So that is something which goes beyond just simply money. But of course, it has to be done in a way that you can earn money. And this is where the whole mini tourism concept is based on, because a lot of things are changing. Climate change is getting all over the world. If I look at the news, you know, problems in Southeast Asia at the moment. You have so much rain like never before, which of course is also affecting tourism. So you will have to adapt to this development, and diversification of what is your offer is of course one of the key elements of that. So maybe we have time where we are already way behind time, but two quick questions. One from Charlotte, welcome back, we're based in London, and one from Tariq Sharif. So please, Charlotte first, but make it short, please. Charlotte, go ahead.
Microphone is muted.
Can you hear me now? Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a comment and information. I know about a project in Zanzibar that is an amazing sustainable project, which is the Chump Island Coral Park, Shikop. It's actually a German woman and her husband who have spent, as I met her in 2011, I think, they had spent more than 20 years on protecting a coral reef in Zanzibar and get it under national heritage protection. And that is it's part of the long run initiative, which is eco resorts typically, and caring, who has 5 ideas of caring for environment, but also business. So it is related to what we're discussing here. But I just wanted to make aware of that, because that is a live, really sustainable project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Charlotte, and thank you for joining us again. Happy to see we have a fan. So, and I hope you get something out of it also. So, Tariq, so you're the last one for today.
Yeah, thank you for welcoming me. Actually, I have just a question. The meaningful tourism is now, like as many people already said, is taking a huge impact worldwide, but in Africa, which is the future, we are not there yet. So the question is for tour operators or anyone dealing, let's say, in accommodation, or all these stakeholders, what are the key elements that when they introduce that in their business, we can say now they're doing meaningful tourism? The simple key element to just change the entire trajectory from what they currently do to now start doing meaningful tourism.
Yeah, thank you. I think you can answer that question, right?
Yes, I can. Thank you again for your question. Yeah, for tour operator, we can do a lot for this meaningful tourism. As I mentioned, like a meaningful tourism. So maybe Mr. Often said a little bit, we need to sell maybe, we don't need to compete selling beach or selling safari. As a tour operator, we need to create a tour in our traditional, using our culture to attract a tourist. Also to make sure the community are benefiting from this as well. When most of us, maybe we compete selling in Zanzibar, spice farm, selling a cooking class, but the meaningful tourism, we want everyone to benefit in this industry. So we need to train our staff first. If we train our staff, they will benefit as well. So if we train the women and the youth, also they will benefit on this. If we create like a more local traditional cooking class, or if we go to seaweed, so for those women are doing farm on the seaweed, these are the people we need to have. Most of the SME also, the people for the artisan, for us to operate, we need to promote them to benefit directly from our tour, not only sending the guests to beach or sending them to Britain Island, to those heritage area, but to make sure the society are benefiting from tourists. Thank you.
Yes. I hope this is answering a little bit, as I said. So if you have time, please join in the next 3 weeks the other lectures we are doing, and you will get a more detailed answer to that, because we are already more than half an hour over time. So keep this in mind, and I'm sure we can continue to talk about that. So with that, I think we have to finish. But it has been very interesting also for me to listen to all your good questions and good comments. And again, thanks, Yukba, and thanks, Aisha. And Aisha has put in the chat that she will also provide the PowerPoint presentation for her verbal presentation. So if anybody's interested, just contact us. Send us an email at info@meaningfultourismcenter.org, or contact Biopa or the Institute of Tourism. And by the way, let me thank again the Institute of Tourism for supporting us a lot with all the organization, the marketing for these online lectures. So if you want more, so there's 2 more. Tomorrow we will talk at the same time. We will talk about Cameroon, and on Friday we will talk about Zimbabwe. And also the video of this today's online lecture will become available on the Tourism Institute's website tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So you can see some parts again if you want. But for now, I think thanks again. It has, I think, from my point of view, been very productive time we spent together. And if you have any further questions, something comes to your mind, oh, I should have asked this, please feel free to contact Yokba, to contact us. And I hope that we will keep on talking to each other. But for today, that's it. Thank you very much. And as in Nepal, you're saying namaste. Goodbye.
Asante sana, kwaherini.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yep.